Hello everyone, this is Alisher. I'm from Tajikistan and I couldn't sleep, so I decided to read some essays and also make a YouTube video. Because past few days I really wanted to go back to YouTube and do some videos and make some content, but I was kind of lame or lazy. Not really, um, not really lazy, but because I have so much work to do, and that's why I was not doing anything that is not related to work. But I think it is related to work because I think um, right now it's pretty easy to make first few followers for your website or for whatever you're building, and share it with your followers, uh, right? So let's make it. First, let me read this essay for you. It's called Nothing How to Think for Yourself by Paul Graham. He's the founder of Y Combinator. Um, he is very, very smart and he's very detail oriented when he writes his essay. He's one of the best, especially when it comes to startups. So let's read it, and I hope I will read it well for you, but enjoy. Uh, who cares? Yeah. So November 2022. How do you think for yourself? There's some kinds of work that you can't do well without thinking differently from your peers. To be a successful scientist, for example, it's not enough just to be correct. Your ideas have to be both correct and novel. You can't publish papers saying things other people already know. You need to say things no one else has realized yet. The same is true for investors. It's not enough for a public market investor to predict correctly how a company will do. If a lot of other people make the same prediction, the stock price will already reflect it, and there's no room to make money. The only valuable insights are the ones most other investors don't share. You see this pattern with startup founders too. You see this pattern with startup founders too. You don't want to start a startup to do something that everyone agrees is a good idea, or there will be other companies doing it. You have to do something that sounds to most people, other people, to most other people like a bad idea. But that you know isn't. Like writing software for a tiny computer used by a few thousand hobbyists, or starting a site to let people rent airbeds in strangers' floors. He's talking about Bill Gates, who built a software computer. At the beginning, he built software for hobbyists, and Airbnb founders, Brian Chesky, John Gabia, and Nate. They just the Airbnb's idea is pretty crazy, to be honest, but they made it because they're extremely smart and they can do the job. Ditto for essayists. An essay that told people things they already knew would be boring. You have to tell them something new. It's like I'm not sure if my content is boring because I'm already telling what is out there. You can just go read it by yourself. You don't need to listen to boring me. And but who cares? If you want to listen, listen. If you don't want to listen, uh, don't listen, right? So um, so let's continue. But this pattern isn't universal. In fact, it doesn't hold for most kinds of work. In most kinds of work, to be an administrator, for example, all you need is the first half. All you need is to be right. It's not essential that everyone else be wrong. if you're a startup founder, uh, or if you're a founder, don't try to be right. You're always wrong. People think of startup founders as, he's gonna be a future boss, he's gonna have lots of money, and uh, he's gonna be leading lots of people, but it comes with a price. Startup founders have so many bosses, First, customers are bosses. When you go to talk to your customer, you're not gonna talk to them like a boss. You have to, you can't make any mistake, because, literally, zero mistake is allowed when you're talking to your customers, because customers' hearts is so, I think, it's really, really so fragile. For example, me, I am a really fragile customer, and I'm also very loyal. Like when I go to a restaurant or something, they treat me well, they smile, they're not trying to take my money away, trying not to cheat me, or try to raise the price. No, if I see they're not doing that, and also they're smiling, they're welcoming, the place is clean, I'll go there over and over again. Even though I eat the same food, I'll go there because I'm a loyal customer. And I believe if anyone is going to be my customer, I would treat them the same. How other people treat me, and how I learn from just, other bosses who treat me well. So yeah, again, startup founder or a company CEO, whatever, they're never a boss. If you want to be a boss, yeah, I think you should go to work for government, because government workers, they're so bossy. It's like, because you need them to get your job done, right? Like you please them or whatever, and they're like sitting in top of your head, and because they know that without them you're not gonna get your job done, right? So they'll do anything for you. So yeah, you choose for yourself. For a startup, you're gonna have lots of bosses. For government, you'll have bosses, but also you'll be the boss. Okay, so where we are, let's continue. Okay, there's a room for a little novelty in most kinds of work, but in practice, there's a fairly sharp distinction between the kinds of work where it's essential to be independent-minded, and the kinds where it's not. I'm not sure if you understand it, but I think you have to read this, because Paul Graham, the way he writes is really, really, really meaningful. I think he takes lots of time to write these essays. I've read this somewhere, but I know that he takes lots of time to revise them, to change whatever is missing. I think his essays are really perfect. This is a long essay. It's already 8:50. I think I'm gonna just go until 10 minutes, and I'll read again the next one. But if you want to read it by yourself, you can go to paulgraham.com, and you can see the list. You can find how to think for yourself. Just go read it. So the next one is, I wish someone had told me about this. I wish someone had told me about this distinction when I was a kid, because it's one of the most important things to think about when you're deciding what kind of work you want to do. Do you want to be the kind of work where you can only win by thinking differently from everyone else? I suspect most people's unconscious mind will answer that question before their conscious mind has a chance to. I know mine does. Very smart. Independent-mindedness seems to be more a matter of nature than nurture. Independent-mindedness seems to be more a matter of nature and nurture, which means if you pick the wrong type of work, you're going to be unhappy. If you're naturally independent-minded, you're going to find it frustrating to be a middle manager. And if you're naturally conventional-minded, you're going to be sailing into a headwind if you try to do original research. This is very, very smart. Usually I take notes. I take notes of the words, especially because to improve my English, they really help a lot. And just get the idea what he's saying. That matters. Just understand what he's saying. Don't just read it quickly like I'm doing now, but just get the idea, understand it like internally, Get it inside your mind. These are life lessons. So it's 11 minutes already. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching.